I've really never been able to get into sports. I mean, even as a child, I evaluated the sports situation and came up with the conclusion that we should have 2 balls instead of 1. We could eliminate all this violence, all of these kids with concussions and things, if we gave each team their own ball and said, go play over there, you go play over there. The schoolyard would be peaceful. But oh no, we have 1 ball and 2 teams, and a bunch of commercials, the Super Bowl. Have you ever wondered if maybe during that Super Bowl there might be some subliminal advertising going on in those commercials? Which, by the way, you don't have to be a sports fan and watch the game. All you need to do is have a TV set on and they'll play every one of the commercials, and we sit agog watching all these commercials. You ever think that maybe in the commercial somewhere in high speed or reverse speech, I don't know what, there's a thing that says Glenn Beck is the bearer of truth? Vote for the Tea Party? Israel's okay, everyone else is bad. See, these things, I've just made them up, I don't know. But it distresses me as I watch the situation in the East and how we can derail that, talking about a football game. And then on the news last night, I saw a woman weeping because she had paid a bunch of money, because she had a job, apparently, and she had money. She probably worked for the federal government. And she had traveled all the way to the stadium, and they didn't have her seat there, and she was weeping. I mean, it was a pathetic sight. I mean, I really felt for her, like somehow this sports in a world of chaos has any meaning whatsoever. I don't know. Are these people hypnotized? By the way, don't watch videos when people do this to you. Believe me, I'm telling you the truth. That's never a good sign. Just a little word of advice from my years of living. Now, right now, we want democracy in Egypt. But we're upset because it seems to be led by a mob. Basic political science, democracy is mob rule. Duh. So if you're going to have a democracy, you've got to have a mob somewhere in it. The things that distress me the most about this, though, are why is that leader there a bully, a tyrant? You know, the likes of Stalin or Adolf Hitler, who has one idea, one vision, and it's getting dim because he's older than me. And that vision is, you will give me all your money, you will do everything I say, and if you don't, I will either kill you or I'll beat the daylights out of you. I will mar your life forever. Do not cross me. I don't know about you, but I find this kind of despicable. You know, they keep telling me how good this man is, how great and wonderful things that he has done. I'll tell you what. If that Egypt president would watch me, you have nothing except a whip and a chain. You're aided by the United States and some other countries, too, who say, yeah, let you stay in power. See, I see 2 things, serious things, coming by leaving this man in power right now. 1, Lord help those unarmed people that were beaten by the man in the camel and beaten by that creep at the front with the yellow shirt, who should be charged with war crimes if the United States had any teeth and could tell the United Nations to get off their behind and do something. What is the United Nations? Believe me, I've figured them out. They do nothing. They try to decide postage stamps and what they should look like. Well, the world is plunging into utter chaos. Where are the United Nations troops right now? You know, we should look at what the intentions were of that United Nations. A toothless lion. An old lion that lays eating a bone. well, the world falls apart around him. We talk, too, about democracy, overlooking that mob rule thing. And we say, yep, you guys have to vote, determine your own destiny. But don't allow any Muslims to be involved. See, I was thinking, trying to equate it in simple terms that one can grasp. If, let's say, the Vatican decided that things were really a mess here in the United States, so the Vatican, because they have those Swiss guards, contacted Switzerland and said, go straighten out everything in the United States. So the Swiss guard came over to straighten everything out, to make us form a better government. Some of us might be a little upset about that. Then, what if they said, you must elect a new Senate and a new Congress? But we want this to be democratic. Make sure no Christians are involved. We don't want a senator who's Christian. We don't want a senator who might lean a little towards Christianity, who might be favorable to it. Everybody must be Muslim. Wouldn't we get upset? Now, am I wrong? A good percentage of the people over there are Muslims. Now, if we don't like what the Muslims are doing, then we shouldn't be telling them to be a democratic nation. Just bring over some kind of a guy with a white turban and he'll run everything. The reality is, if we're going to have a democracy over there, that group has to be represented. Now, people like Glenn Beck are just foaming at the mouth. How that man stays on the air. He's lost all of his advertisers. Back in the day when we had real broadcasting, it didn't matter how many listeners you may have. The key was you had to have advertisers because that's how everything was paid for. So if they have a show that goes on for hours every day spewing out hate, and it seems to me that that show should be making money, but it's not. It tells us something about a network whose name I'm not going to mention because it upset one of my viewers, and I don't want to ever do that. Now, this is a real mess. If we stay with the free press, which is very debatable right now, all the good that guy did was undone in just a flash of a second when those people rode into that stadium and showed the world how that president in Egypt deals with his country and his citizens. And some of us really don't like it. And some of us will never, ever travel to Egypt or have anything to do with Egypt until that guy is removed from office. Not just him, but that entire party that rules with thugs. And it's there. If I was program director for a big network, we would show that every single day to show you why you should stay free. Because if you get ruled by these thugs and they ride in camels and you have no weapons, they will beat you into the ground. Never forget those images. Or the servants running those trucks and things right into crowds of people without any regard. And some of you out there think that white truck, yeah, that was a bunch of peace people doing that. Bull, their truck was stolen. They like to play games. Some of us like to play games too. And let me tell you, we haven't put that final checkmate piece in. But it may be on the board. I'm not sure what that means, but it's pretty profound, I think. Don't you? Do you? No? Oh, excuse me.